This is an incredible time for your baby. There's so much happening during the first year of life, and this video will look at some of the most amazing developments that occur during those first few months after birth. The human brain is the most complex organ in the body, and it continues to develop throughout our entire lives. However, there is no time in our lives where the brain grows faster than during our first 2 years here on Earth. This is important because it allows you to bond with your caregivers and feel safe in your environment. When babies crawl, they reusing their muscles to propel themselves forward, and their brains are making connections that help them understand how their body moves through space. Language is one of the most important skills babies need to develop in their first year of life. From the brain doubling in size to the start of language development, the first year is a time of incredible growth and change. As you watch your baby grow and develop, remember to cherish every moment. The first year goes by faster than you think. And speaking of the first year, if you haven't already, check out the previous video on what happens in the first month. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. In fact, babies start learning language long before they are able to speak their first words. Babies are born with the ability to produce all of the sounds needed for human language. As they are exposed to different languages, they will start to develop the skills they need to communicate. Babies will start to babble and make other vocalizations that are the building blocks of speech. They will also start to understand the meaning of words and simple phrases. By the end of the first year, your baby should be able to say their first few words and understand many more. There are several things you can do to help your baby develop language skills. Talk to your baby often and sing songs. Read books together and name objects in the room. Respond to your baby's vocalizations and babbling. And don't worry about correcting your baby's pronunciation. They will learn to speak properly with time. One of the most important things you can do for your baby's language development is to talk to them from the first day they are born. Babies who are talked to more often develop better language skills. You don't have to use fancy words or have a conversation. Just talk to your baby about what you're doing. Sing songs and read books. This will help your baby develop the skills they need to understand and produce language. Crawling also stimulates the development of other important skills, such as hand-eye coordination and babies who crawl are better able to judge distances, explore their surroundings, and develop the fine motor skills they need to perform tasks later in childhood. Studies have shown that babies who crawl are better able to solve problems, think creatively, and develop important cognitive skills. Crawling helps babies develop the neural connections they need to function properly. When babies crawl, they are stimulating the growth of neurons and strengthening the connections between them. This is important because the connections between neurons are the basis of all human thought, movement, and behavior. There are many benefits to crawling, both physical and cognitive. Crawling helps babies develop strong, healthy muscles. It also helps them develop hand-eye coordination and depth perception. In addition, crawling helps babies learn to explore and problem solve. For example, when babies crawl, they have to figure out how to move around obstacles and how to get from one place to another. This helps them develop important cognitive skills that they will use later in childhood and adulthood. If your baby is having trouble crawling, there are some things you can do to help them. First, make sure your baby is physically ready to crawl. Most babies are ready to crawl around 6 or 7 months old. Second, provide your baby with plenty of opportunities to practice crawling. You can do this by putting toys just out of reach, making tunnels or obstacle courses, or simply letting your baby crawl around on the floor. Finally, be patient. Every baby is different and will crawl at their own pace. Babies will start to recognize their caregivers' faces within the first few months of life, and this recognition will only grow stronger with time. By the end of the first year, your baby should be able to recognize familiar faces, respond to their name, and show different reactions to different people. They may even start to develop a favorite face that they like to look at the most. Babies can also recognize their own faces after a few weeks of being born. At first, they may not know that the face in the mirror is themselves, but they will start to figure it out soon enough. As your baby starts to develop object permanence, which is the understanding that objects continue to exist even when they can't be seen, they'll start to realize that the face in the mirror is always the same face that they see when they turn around. This is a big milestone because it shows that your baby is developing the cognitive skills they need to understand the world around them. In fact, the brain will double in size from the time you are born until your second birthday, and around 80% of the brain is made up of water. This means that if you weigh 6 pounds at birth, by your second birthday, you could weigh 12 pounds, all from brain growth. This is also why it's so important to stay hydrated, because if your body doesn't have enough water, your brain won't be able to grow to its full potential. Your baby will go from helpless newborn to responsive infant to active toddler over the course of your baby's first year. A lot of this has to do with the massive amount of new brain cells that are generated every single day, as well as the trillions of connections that are made between these new brain cells. These new cells and connections allow your baby to become more responsive to their environment, learn new skills, and eventually start interacting with their world. We'll be looking specifically at what happens between the ages of 0 and 12 months. In fact, we're going to cover 5 milestones that happen during this time. But before we get started, I just want to mention that if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button because it really helps out my channel. So let's begin. Number 1. The brain doubles in size. Number 2. Attachment and bonding. Babies are born with the innate ability to form an attachment to their primary caregivers. This is a crucial milestone because it sets the foundation for future relationships. Babies who are securely attached to their caregivers are more likely to have positive relationships later in life. Now, this attachment usually starts during pregnancy when the mother is still carrying her child. As the baby grows inside the womb, the mother's voice becomes one of the first and most important sources of stimulation. Once your baby is born, skin-to-skin contact is one of the best ways to promote bonding. It's a chance for you and your baby to get to know each other, and for your baby to learn about the world outside the womb. During this time, your baby will also start to develop social skills. They'll start to respond to smiles and faces and will begin to make their own social gestures. By the end of the first year, your baby should be able to follow people with their eyes, turn toward sounds, respond to their name, play peekaboo, and imitate your facial expressions. All of these activities help your baby develop the social skills they need to interact with others. Number 3. Learning to recognize faces and voices. From the time you are born, you have the innate ability to recognize faces and voices. Number 4. Crawling equals brain wiring. Crawling is an important milestone that allows babies to explore their environment and learn about the world around them. Number 5. Language starts before they speak. So there you have it. Those are 5 amazing things that happen during the first year of life.